Hi, my name is Riz and welcome back to my fitness channel. Today we are going to be doing a beginner's chair workout. We have 4 exercises, 30 seconds on, 15 to 30 seconds off. The demo will be your rest. Go ahead and join me at the end of the mat for our gentle warm-up. On all fours, we're going to be going into cat-cow, arching our back, looking up, inhaling, exhaling, pushing away from the ground and rounding your back. Again. And round your back. Really push through your palms and your big toes. One more time. Sitting back on our heels, we're going to place our left elbow and hand down, our right hand behind our head, and we're going to touch each elbow and then point our right elbow to the sky, looking up and opening up. We're really pressing that left elbow and hand into the ground so we can get that nice twist. Touching the elbows again and opening up. Off to the other side. So right elbow and hand to the ground, left hand behind the head, touching each elbow and looking up. Last one. Sitting back on our heels, still. We're going to take our right hand. Now, depending on your flexibility or your mobility will determine how far back you'll be able to turn your hand. So lifting your right hand up to the sky, I am then twisting my hand, my palm is now facing you, and then I'm going, as I come down and lower my hand behind me, my palm is now facing the back of me, ending with my knuckles touching my butt, bringing my knuckles back up, our palm is facing you, then it's facing the front of me, then back to the starting point. You may just get to here, that is fine, or you might feel a little uncomfortable here, you may stop here, that's okay. We're just keeping our chest forward and going back as far as we can. We're not trying to move through pain, we're just trying to get some nice mobility into that shoulder, into those arms. Okay, starting on the right side, follow with me. Our hand is going up, then it's turning, knuckles are facing my butt, and then lifting back up, back to the starting point. Try to keep that chest forward. One more time. Now off to the other side. Face, other side face you. One more time. And done. Okay. Sitting on our glutes, your knees are going to be about a little wider than hip width apart. And we're going to go into this like TikTok hip opener. So dropping our knees to the left, you're going to be in this 90-90 position. So you want it to look very sharp and geometric looking. This knee is going to be facing this way, and this knee will be facing you. So, like so, you're going to take your left hand, put it behind you, your right hand onto your left knee, and look behind you. Get that nice gentle twist. You don't have to force it. And then we're going to come back up to our starting point. Now you may only get to here, or your knees may not be able to touch the ground. That's totally fine. We're just trying to open our hips up to the best of our ability. So kind of tick-tocking to the other side. I'm switching knee positions. It's gonna kind of look like a 5 position. We're gonna take our left hand, place it on our right knee, our right hand behind us, and twist. We're gonna be pressing our back leg into the ground as much as we can. And then off to the other side. And you can kind of just flow with this. A little quick movement. If you go slow, that's fine. We're not in a rush here. Finish up on each side. All right. Join me on our backs. We're going to go into a glute bridge. So position your heels at length where you can still touch them. We don't want them too far forward or we'll feel our hamstrings, and not too close to your butt or we'll feel our quads. Let's get right in the middle where we can get that nice glute activation. Engaging our core, so kind of like tucking your pelvis in and squeezing your core. It's going to feel like squeezing a muscle. That's how you know you'll be engaging your core. We're going to lift up off of the ground. You can kind of use your hands to prop you. With your heels and your big toe, we're going to lift our hips to the sky and squeeze our glutes. Squeezing our glutes will be important for protecting our lower back. And then we're going to lower back down. And then again. We want our big toe to stay on the ground. We're really pushing through our heels and our big toe to get that nice stretch. And also some glute activation. One more time. And done. You can kind of use the chair to help you up, but for the rest of us, you're going to get onto your knees, tucking your toes in, push up off the ground, sending our hips back, and roll on up. Okay, so getting your chair. Our first exercise is going to be a chair squat. So, putting our big toes, our feet, at shoulder width distance. You might like to go a little wider if it feels more comfortable for you, as long as your knees are aligned with your toes. So they're not going too far out and they're not caving in. We're going to lower, sit on the chair, and then come back up. We're pushing through our heels and our big toe. So lowering, my core is engaged. I am upright. We're going to sit down and then really push through your heel and your big toe. You'll notice you'll be able to come up much faster that way. Now when we come down, we're not sitting back. We don't want to put our back into it. We're kind of sitting in this engaged position. It's okay to rest here a bit as long as you're not going like that. And then come back up. All right. So setting our timer. And begin. Exhaling, exhale, come back up. Inhaling, lowering down, exhaling, come back up. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Last one, and done. Moving our chair towards the end of the mat, we're going to go into a plank type push-up. It kind of sounds intimidating, but I promise it's not. So, you're going to get into a plank-like position. So both of our hands at the end of the chair. Now this, where my feet are positioned, the closer they are together, the harder it is going to be. So go ahead and take a wide stance, whatever is within your practice, and you're going to still be in a plank position. So I'm not arching my back and I'm not rounding it exaggerated like, and we're gonna lower down, chest touches the chair, and push away the chair and come back up. We're really digging that chair in and helping us push away from it. If you only go here and come back up, that is totally fine. Do whatever is within your practice and whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. As we're pushing away from the chair, our big toe is really digging into that floor. Our palms are digging into that chair and our core is engaged. So we're inhaling as we lower and exhaling as we come up. These cues are very important. They'll make the world of a difference when in practice and strengthen your form. All right, beginning in a couple seconds and begin. You'll see that my pelvis is tucked. I'm engaging my core. One more, you got this. And done. Okay. For our next exercise, we'll be going into a chair hip thrust. So, in the warm-up you saw us do a hip thrust on the ground. This time we'll be doing it on the chair. If you'd like, you can use your mat, roll it up and protect your back because we'll be leaning on the chair, or you can use a towel, whatever you like. It's most comfortable for you. So I like to kind of like position my forearms and elbows on the chair to help me lift up. My big toe and my heel is completely flat on the ground, and I'm just gonna push up off the chair and kind of just lean my back on the chair like so. So you can kind of position whichever way you like. This might be challenging for you. That is totally fine. You can hold the chair to stabilize you. Kind of position your feet wherever you like I said in the warm-up. The farther they are, the more you'll feel it in your hamstrings. Closer you are, the more you'll feel it in your quads. We're gonna find that middle ground and feel it in our glutes. I like to put my hands behind my head. We're gonna kind of lower down. And as we exhale up, we're tucking in, squeezing our glutes and pushing up off the floor. If this feels uncomfortable for you, then you can always do the ones that we did in the warm-up on the floor like so. But for the rest of us, if it's within your practice, we're gonna do these on the chair. So setting up our timer and begin. Last one. And done. Okay. For our last exercise, you can kind of use your chair to help you up. We have the downward dog to plank. So going into downward dog on our chair, if your heels are off the ground in this position, this for the specific exercise, that is totally fine. If you want, you can place your heels on the floor to, get a nice calf stretch. Our hands are at the edge of the chair, and we're just in this downward dog. So coming up, we're gonna you can roll your back if you like to get a nice stretch and into this plank position. Our heels are now off the ground. Our pelvis is tucked in. Our core is engaged. And my head is neutral. I'm not scrunched up like this. Relax. Our neck is tall. And then we're going to go back into downward dog. So we're going to kind of just tick-tock between these movements. Like so. Like I said, the wider stances, the easier it is. So setting up our timer. If this is too challenging for you, or you get tired doing that downward dog to plank movement, you can just hold the plank or hold the downward dog. All right, let's begin. Might hear a few little cracks like I do. Last one. And done. See, that wasn't so bad. So now you know the movement. We're going to do that one more time, starting with our squats. So if it's within your practice, you can remove the chair and just go into air squats, or just come up at the front of your mat a little bit. Just kind of tap your butt a little close to the chair. Sometimes Sometimes we feel a little unsafe trying new movements. That's fine. The chair is here to support you. All right. Getting, like I said, feet in hip width apart or whatever stance feels best to you. Our knees are aligned with our toes. Just remember not to put our knees too outward or have them cave in. Our timer begins now. Lower and come up. I'm going to come a little bit away from the chair. See how that feels. And done. Okay. Next, into our chair plank push-up. So positioning the chair, you're in this plank position like so, as wide as your feet want you to, and lower down and come back up. All right, getting the timer ready. And begin. Keep going. If you get tired, just hold this position. Last one. And done. Next, we have our hip thrusts. Go ahead, get a drink of water. If you would like. And when you're ready, join me on the ground for our hip thrusts. So, like I said, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can do the hip thrusts on the ground. But for the rest of us, let's do it on the chair. Play around, see how you like it. Maybe in this round, you're trying the hip thrusts on the chair. Don't be afraid. The chair is there to support you. All right. Starting our timer. And begin. You can kind of use the chair if it helps. Last one. And done. All right, for our last exercise, we are going to be doing a downward dog 2 plank. So positioning into your plank-like movement and go into downward dog. Setting up our timer. This is our last exercise. You got this. Now, if you're feeling spicy, if you're feeling crazy, you're pumped, and you feel good, if you would like to amp this up a bit, you can. So instead of going into a downward dog, into a plank, you can stay in this plank position. You can bring your toes in closer, and then taking your left knee, you can bring it up to the chest, like so, set it back, and up to the other side. But you're kind of holding that position, and then setting it back. All right, so we're whichever you like. You can go for the progression. You can go and stay with the downward dog. It's totally fine. Getting the timer ready, and let's begin. I'm gonna try the marches, see how that feels. Push through, we're almost done. You got this. Last one. And done. All right. Setting your chair aside, join me on the mat for a gentle cool down. Spreading our knees apart, we're going to sit back into child's pose. That nice stretch. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can just place your knees together and then place your hands back in this womb-like position. Whatever brings your heart rate down. And breathe. Laying on our backs in this starfish-like position. You can just wiggle your feet and your fingers. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Bringing your left knee to your chest for this nice loose stretch. Just breathe. Off to the other side. And then placing both feet on the ground, you can tick-tock your knees side to side. Feel a quad stretch, hips stretch. And at the same time, a gentle twist. Coming up on our butts, you can take your hands, reach up to the sky, and then fold forward. You may be able to fold more forward than I can. You might have tight hamstrings like me. Okay. We're going to stretch our arms, taking our right hand, our left hand is going to hook it, and we're going to pull towards your left side. Off to the other side. You're really pulling your hooked hand towards you for that nice stretch. Placing your right elbow to the sky, you're going to take your left hand, grab your elbow, and bring it towards you. You can also take your fingers and inch it towards the mid area of your back as much as you can. And breathe. To the other side. All right, and that concludes our beginner chair workout. If you'd like, you can do this all over again. You can add another round or come back. This exercise is really great for some people who may have just recovered from an injury and can't do anything really high impact, or maybe it's just been a while since you've gotten some movement in, and this workout is great for that. Go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me, is there any workouts that you would like from me, and have